one. Holy Toledo. Voters' views of the Democrats in Congress among all voters disapprove, 68%. And look at the approve number, just 21%, even lower than the Democratic Party at large. This is the lowest on record for Democrats, according to Quinnipiac University polling. You think these numbers are bad? Let's go to this side of the screen. We'll look how Democratic voters feel. Get this. The plurality of Democratic voters disapprove of Democrats in Congress at 49%, and just 40% approve. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Oh, my goodness gracious, you just can't get worse than these numbers.
And this is the number right here really driving all of this. If Democratic voters have turned on Democrats in Congress and the Democratic Party, that's what puts the numbers at historic lows.
Now let's hear from the White House press secretary, who is furnishing the hostile media with some unwelcome facts and figures about tariffs imposed by other nations on US products.
Look at the unfair trade practices that we have. 50% from the European Union on American dairy. You have a 700% tariff from Japan on American rice. You have a 100% tariff from India on American agricultural products. You have nearly a 300% tariff from Canada on American butter and American cheese. This makes it virtually impossible for American products to be imported into these markets, and it has put a lot of Americans out of business and out of work over the past several decades. So it's time for reciprocity.
Joining me now is journalist and author Batia Ungasargon. Batia, Caroline Levitt there, giving the media some facts and figures, and there's polling today showing Americans think Donald Trump is too focused on tariffs and should be more focused on inflation, but the two issues are of course linked.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Rita. It's great to be here with you. These are definitely linked. The reason inflation hits working class people so hard is because they don't have enough money not to notice it, not to notice the increase in prices. And the way that you fix that is by getting them more money. And the way to get them more money is not by simply raising taxes on the rich and redistributing it and giving them handouts. They don't want that. It's by creating a marketplace in which the product of their labor is more expensive and then their labor becomes more expensive, and then they get more money to take home. And of course, this is win-win for working class people. They make more money, and then they are more competitive as consumers in the marketplace. The people who don't like this are massive corporations, Wall Street, and other rich people who think they should be able to employ their neighbors for pennies on the dollar for the kinds of wages they would never dream of working for. So, this whole tariff product is designed to help struggling working class Americans. So, of course, rich people are going to be very angry about it. They're supposed to be. Trump is waging class warfare against the elites on behalf of the working class. The elites are supposed to be very angry, and that's what you're seeing in Wall Street and in the stock market. You are seeing rich elites who hate Donald Trump punishing him for standing up for the American working class.
And it's been interesting to see so many of the elites, so many of these left-leaning, very earnest types arguing for illegal immigration, essentially, because who else is going to do those jobs at those wages? And it's the sort of argument you could have put forward to defend slavery. And that point seems to be lost on them, that this is neither good for the people you're bringing in or enticing to come in illegally to work for these low wages, and it's certainly not good for the American working class, who are then also having to compete with illegal immigrants for those low-skilled jobs.
Yeah, remember Nancy Pelosi going out there and saying, but who will pick the crops? Or Jasmine Crockett, I know a favorite of yours, Rita, who a few weeks ago was giving a speech in which she said to the audience, nobody here wants their children to go into hospitality. I'm sorry. The majority of people who work in hospitality in America are American citizens by a wide margin. Why are you out there insulting people who do an honest job for a living, who work really hard, and you're out there sneering, telling an educated audience, well, you would rather die than see your child go into this industry? What kind of a message does that send to your fellow Americans? And it's so connected to other crises we see, the crisis in masculinity, because effectively what we did was we shipped 5 million very good working class masculine macho manufacturing jobs overseas, and then we imported millions and millions of people into this country to work in janitorial service, landscaping, construction, jobs that rely on brawn, that used to be jobs that working class men could get a lot of dignity out of. And what message that sends them? This job is beneath the dignity of an American. Of course, men feel like they've been totally degraded in the marketplace, in the dating market, in society, in their families. It's really horrifying, and the downstream effects of this are enormous.